Hello guys, S2W back again with your next casual consumer's perspective review. For today's close-up look, we'll be reviewing an interesting collaboration between an Adidas silhouette and collaboration not only with Pharrell Williams' Human Race collection, but also his clothing retailer Billionaire Boys Club BBC. Although Adidas, Pharrell, and BBC have created a few of these Human Race NMD models before already, mostly exclusives that released in SneakerCon or their store in the US, this color we have here is finally the first that's considered a GR, released both online and in other sneaker boutiques. Today, I have the Adidas Human Race NMD Multicolor by Pharrell Williams and BBC here for review. For this release, another model dropped as well, and they were the Adidas Tennis Hue, but as always, the NMD model with Boost is where all the people are focused on. There was actually a second Hue NMD colorway that dropped as well, almost like a twin version of this color blocking, using another colorway in pink and blue. However, just like the previous colorways, that was only released at BBC's retailer in the States, so that's an L for me since I'm in Canada. I personally like the NMD colorway that we're reviewing here today anyways, so without further delay, let's take a closer look at these sneakers. Now looking at these shoes in hand, I thought they have absolutely killed it visually. It's a very nice looking shoe and in my opinion is a lot better than the ones released from the Afro Pack during the summer of 2018. Funny enough, if you're from Canada, there's a department store called the Hudson's Bay and they sell their own accessory line and a series of striped color blocking that's pretty popular here. Especially during the winter since it's mostly scarves or mittens and they look strangely similar to the color blocking we see on this shoe. Donning a striped pattern in colors of white, red, yellow, and navy, the way it alternates with white in between as you can see here is why it look like the Hudson's Bay items. Regardless, it's a simple and clean look that's easy to look at without too much going on, yet noticeable enough to look unique. The upper on this silhouette according to Adidas is just knit, and as I test out the stretchiness and elasticity by hand, it does feel a lot coarser, thick, and less stretchy as the ones released prior to the Afro Pack Human Race NMDs. The fabric here feels a lot more restrictive after a certain pull, which a lot of people have said is similar to the knit found on the Afro Pack, which I skipped, so I am pretty curious about the fit of these. But just like previous releases, there are words laid on top of the canvas and it's embroidered on this pair. On the left shoe it reads mind, whereas on the right pair it reads here, but looking closely and if you move the laces a bit, you'll notice the camouflaged letter T embroidered right there at the top and it actually reads heart instead, which is the true philosophy of wealth that BBC goes by. The upper is a one-piece textile so the tongue is attached to the fabric seamlessly, with the back of the shoe included with a letter hand tag like all the other prior silhouettes, but on the left pair we will see a golden letter B to represent the logo for BBC, while on the right pair is the Adidas original trefoil logo. In terms of lacing, these came laced up with white rope laces with speckles of 3M patterning, so it will shine brightly when light hits on it at the right angle. It does also come with a separate bag of 3M yellow rope laces if you want to switch it up. Also, the aglets contain a red, yellow, and navy loop design as well, which is a nice little addition to the sneaker. I'm pretty sure most of you guys know about this already, but the laces are threaded through a side plastic cage, and since it's a netted design, you can always unlace them and lace it back up in different holes for your own custom lacing setup. Inside the sneaker, it's literally knit again. There's no padding around the lining at all, everything is kept linear just like the exterior. Furthermore, to keep it tradition, there are no insoles in this shoe just like previous models, but rather a felt-like layer of fabric on top of the midsole cushioning decorated with a reflexology diagram, showing an image of our feet that corresponds to a specific zone in our body, which is used in a type of pressure point therapy that will help with pain, anxiety, and stress to name a few. Cushioning wise, it uses the NMD Boost Sole technology, a very reactive and bouncy cushioning from Adidas, but since it's an NMD, these properties are limited as they've placed EVA blocks at the side to keep the cushioning in a more stable position. On the lateral side, you'll see 2 blocks on this surface, and only 1 block on the medial, just like most NMD models. Under the sneakers, we will see the final touch-up, which is a rubber outsole divided into blocks, a new trail-designed tread pattern. I believe it's first introduced in the Afro Pack on the Human Race NMDs, and it's carried over to this release as well. From a visual standpoint, it looks pretty interesting as this certainly reminds me of the traction from car tires, especially with the little spikes along the edges of the blocks, which I believe will further add some additional grip on softer surfaces. Anyways, here are some Adidas Hue NMD Multicolor by Pharrell Williams and BBC fit footage. Sizing wise, I went down half a size like all my other Human Race NMD prior to the Afro Pack, and let's just say this one definitely fit differently. Lengthwise it's the same, but for the wide feet gang like me, this shoe fitted a lot tighter than I had thought. I'm assuming it's a different knit that they used instead of the thinner prime knit, as this one felt a lot tighter at the midfoot area. I had to really jam my feet into the opening a lot harder than before, and after it's in, the midfoot portion was really constricting for me. You can see the cage being destroyed here too, but for me personally, it was definitely a bad idea to go down. If anything, I would suggest going true to size or even half size up depending on how much toe space you can tolerate. On my pair, there are certain flaws that I did not like as well, especially on a collaboration like this at the price of 340 Canadian dollars before tax. The huge glue mark at the heel portion of the outsole and the uneven threads around the embroidered text made my pair a bit lousy in my opinion. It sucks because I would totally love to have this pair in my rotation as I think it looks great visually, but the unusual tightness and imperfections makes it difficult for me to swallow this pair up, especially at that expensive price point. Cushioning wise, even though the outsole design has changed, the cushioning stayed the same and felt decent. NMDs don't have that comfy bounce like the Ultra Boost, Pure Boost, Iniki, or some of the newer models such as the ZX500RM, so don't expect the same cushioning, but rather a more stabilized version of it, and almost to the point of no responsive bounce back, which a lot of people prefer as well. As always, throw me some likes if you like this video, and let me know in the comments how you would rank these in terms of all the GR models that released out to the public. I really wish they would use the OG Hue NMD flat outsole instead in the future to minimize the weight, as it does still feel pretty heavy in hand. There were plenty of stock available when it first launched too, so resale is not bad at all. If you missed it, then it's probably one of the easiest pairs to get that actually looks dope and safe to match with what you wear. That's it for today, S2W signing off.